Guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are going to be discussing the top 100 decks from the Duelist Cup and kind of go over the meta that had happened in the Duelist Cup. So, yeah, let's just hop into this. Not all of the deck lists are currently available. It's not all top 100, but this is on masterduelmeta.com, obviously. And we're just going to go over kind of what I expected and like what actually happened. So first things first, I did expect branded to be like everywhere. I expected branded Runick. I expected like Tri-Brigade to be pretty good. I expected Sword Soul to do pretty well, and then obviously like everyone's pet decks. So like the Marincess and Salamangreat and Pendulum and stuff like that. So, but the top decks I expected were branded and Runick, and you'll see that that is not the case. So first and foremost, Adamancipator, 60 card Adamancipator, abusing Block Dragon and Grass to just like automatically win you the game if Grass resolves, was the best deck. Honestly, I think the main reason for this is because no one wanted to sit through this combo, so they got a lot of quick wins if the opponent just didn't have a way to out their board, right? Or like interact with them to prevent them from ending on a very solid board. I think that's probably some of it, maybe not all of it, but I mean, if Grass resolves, you basically automatically win. Being able to go for Block Dragon like multiple times is just kind of crazy. So yeah, that's basically it. Pretty standard list. The only thing that's really worth noting is like Geonator Transverser, which is kind of funny. Other than that, everything is pretty standard. I guess Almirage is also pretty interesting, but that's mostly like to get another material off of your field if you need to for Block Dragon. If like you Grass, right? That's more or less it. I don't really see this being used for anything else. The next two entries are, or the next two places are actually Flunder. Twice. Yeah, Flunder. The deck that no one expected to actually do well because Barrier Statue was banned, and so they're like, well, Flunder can't do anything. Turns out Flunder is still absolutely amazing. Being able to play on your opponent's turn is really powerful and really annoying, and I get that people don't like it, but honestly, the deck doesn't really need any more hits, so them getting second and third is worrisome, because now they're going to get hit into Oblivion, and like, Robina is going to get like, banned or something stupid like that. But in all honesty, yeah, both the top 2 and the top 3 lists were playing at 2 Dreaming Town, which is very interesting. The 1 Empen and the 2 Dreaming Town. This one was playing the 2 Mega Ryza, but kind of interesting to note. Also, like, all of the top 10 are from the OCG. They're all like OCG players, I believe. So that's interesting. Next up, we have Runick. Not surprising. I don't think anyone was surprised by this. Amano Iwato is the tech card that they chose. Not as many floodgates, other than there can be only one. This was in like all of the top lists. But Amano Iwato in particular was absolutely everywhere due to the fact that it was able to just shut down your, like, everything that your opponent did on your turn. You just like normal summon this guy and then stare at your opponent as you just, you know, deck them out. So yeah. Amano Iwato is a cool, fair and balanced Yugioh card that should never have been printed. Next up, we have Branded. Branded did make it into the top 5. I'm not surprised. It's a pretty simple list, and abusing Grass. Yep, there you go. Also abusing Snow and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty standard. The triple branded fusion, the triple branded in red, you know, all of the targets for that, you know, triple Albion, triple Fallen of all boss, just due to the fact that you are going to Grass and mill a whole bunch of things. So there's that. Also playing triple Pot of Desires, because why not? You're playing 60 cards anyway. Just play 3 of it. Yeah, pretty standard list, all things considered. The only thing that's different from like what I normally play is that they are not playing. They're playing the 3 Masquerade instead of the Titaniclad. I don't know how often that would come up, though. But yeah, basically, stock standard list. Then we have, this is probably the coolest thing. We have Virtual World. Let's go. Virtual World in the top 10 using the Adventure Engine, which is super cool. You'll love to see that. And then obviously Adamancipator 60 card, weird amalgamation, random, turbo booster and Gemini Emerald and stuff like that. Parallel Exceed. What? Sometimes you just need an extra rock monster. But yeah, the virtual world stuff is pretty cool. Being able to like tribute summon for Spell Canceller to turn off your opponent's spell effects, which is really good against, Runick and more specifically Branded. It obviously kills Runick, but like it also hits Branded, which I think a lot of people were playing outs to like spell cards in particular because of both of those being like the two best decks. So yeah, having something that doesn't really rely on spells is pretty good. So yeah, just kind of cool that this also was one of the decks that was used in the topping lists. Another Runick, pretty standard. Again, Amano Iwato, kind of the tech that everyone figured out. And then another Flunder, pretty cool. And then another Flunder. Flunder was kind of everywhere in the top, but it was I think it was only really in the top. I don't remember. Then we had Branded and Sword Soul. Yep, this is kind of what I expected, and they're at the top 10, so pretty interesting. So far, I didn't really expect Adamancipator to be as dominant as it was, but yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Next up, we have 15, more Flunder. More Runick, pretty standard. The weird Turbo Gem Knight Emerald list for Adamancipator. More Branded, more Flunder here. Okay, here's Pend Magician. This deck is currently considered tier 2 on the Master Duel meta list, which is weird. But, being able to FTK your opponent randomly is also pretty cool. You just, summon out the Lyrilusc, summon out 2 of this guy, and then FTK your opponent. It's great. Well, you summon out the Lyrilusc with Verte, but still. Yeah, 60 card list. Kind of interesting. Using the Valence field spells and Senate switch and stuff like that to... I don't know. I think the reason that they're probably playing 60 is actually to beat Runick so that they don't deck out. But, I mean, the deck is consistent enough with the, 60, so it doesn't really matter that they are not playing 40. Next up, we have Tri-Brigade. I guess it's Tri-Brigade branded technically, but like it's not Tri-Brigade branded. It's more just Tri-Brigade. Yeah, it's like going second, hand trap centric Tri-Brigade. Using things like Small World in order to get into like your entire archetype. Playing 3 Chaos, which is kind of crazy. Lots of like going second cards in particular. Not a whole lot of hand traps, but like big blowout cards. The Gammas, the Alpha, 1 Pank. I don't know why we're only playing the 1 Pank when it is at 2. But yeah, pretty I would say standard. But honestly, this is a surprising list. Seeing how well it did with 47 cards. It just kind of a weird list, but hey, there you go. Tri-Brigade. I did expect Tri-Brigade in some capacity to do well, but this is not the list that I expected it to be as good as it was. More Runick. More Flunder. More... Oh, this is a new one. We have the Adagonister. Adagonister just kind of sets up this guy, which if you don't have the out to it, yeah, it just kind of wins. Similar to Adamancipator, where it's just like it takes a long combo to set up this guy. People realize, oh, I can't out that guy. Therefore, they surrender. Therefore, you get lots of points. More Runick, more Runick, more Branded. This is a pretty standard list for Branded. 40 card with the Adventure Engine. Yeah, pretty standard. Nothing too fancy there. Yeah, the Adventure Engine seemed to be very good. I think a lot of people cut it because they were like, oh, it's too inconsistent and stuff like that. But in an event like this where it's just like, if you can just get free wins, do it, kind of thing. So, yeah, there's that. Though it looked like they may have switched to the Edge Imp 60 card amalgamation. Also playing 1 Eldritch in order to go for, just like to dump him in order to get your Albion in order, or just like, oh, they're not even playing grass. Oh, what? Okay, that's weird. But yeah, you would dump him to get like the Eldritch back to get just like another big body onto your side of the field, which is kind of cool. Code Talker, I guess. I guess it's just like cyber stuff. Just cyber stuff. Anti-spell, pretty standard. Heat Soul control, I guess, is what it is, because they're playing like all of the Omni negates, or all of the counter traps. More Flunder. Flunder did really well, and I think that was the most surprising thing. Yes, Dimension Shifter is really good, but it's honestly not as good in this meta. Like, it's decent, but I mean, the top 2 decks were not playing this, or one of the top decks wasn't playing this card. I think the main reason that it was so good was because of Runick being everywhere. At least at the top, like, we see like a lot of Runick, right? Where is it? Lots of Runick. So I'm guessing Flunder did so well because, like, oh, you banished my Robina. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Anyway, normal summon another card in order to get my Robina back. So it's like, yeah. Next up we have Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade. Now, I expected Lyrilusc to do worse than Zodiac, but I think, like, no one played Zodiac. Like, I legit, I don't know who played Zodiac. Even though I do think Zodiac had a better lineup against the Runick stuff. So there's that, but here we go. Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade. Am I upset? Not in the slightest. I'm fine with being wrong about the fact that the Tri-Brigade list that actually did the best was Lyrilusc. Because I prefer Lyrilusc. It's more fun. But yeah, I think just being able to set up like a really strong turn 1 board was more important than being able to go second. So yeah, I think that was the main thing. Next up, we have another branded Tri-Brigade. Branded Tri-Brigade? I don't know. It's not really branded Tri-Brigade. This guy's... Oh, I thought he wasn't even playing the Vulnerable Boss. No, they are. Next up, we have ourselves Sword Soul. Sword Soul with Protoss. Protoss is crazy. This deck, the reason I think it didn't do as well as I expected was due to the fact that it doesn't really have the greatest of matchups against Runick. Like, it's not terrible against Runick. Like, this guy's maining Triple Cosmic. But it's not the greatest. As you can see, they're playing, like, very few Tenyis as well. Lots of Ecclesia. Kind of weird. But the Triple Cosmic is pretty telling. Yeah. Also playing the OTK options with Dark Rebellion and Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon in order to just, like, OTK your opponent more efficiently. Runick with Orb and Adamancipator. More Sword Soul. Sword Soul, again, didn't do bad. It's just, like, it didn't do as well as I expected. I expected it to be, like, one of the best decks, if not the top winning deck, you know. Next up, we have this amalgamation of 60 cards, which I don't know. It's grass shenanigans. I would say it's Shaddoll, but it's, like, not. It's kind of Shaddoll. It's kind of branded. It's not invoked. It's just, it's stuff. It's just fusion stuff. That's what I'll call it, is fusion stuff. Next up, we have whatever this is. A whole bunch of different decks. The 60 card branded list that was running around. We have Marincess. This is the first instance of Marincess. We have more Flunder. Yeah. With Jack in the hand this time. Pretty cool. We have Drydron. Drydron with Herald of Perfection. Instead of Herald of Ultimateness. In all honesty, don't know why we played this over Herald of Perfection, or Herald of Ultimateness. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but sure. Yeah, just being able to go Ava and prevent your opponent from playing the game is pretty cool. So that's why it did so well. I think one of the top, like, 15 decks is another one of these, using the Herald of Ultimateness. So there's that. What the heck is this? Okay, cool. More Sword Soul with Iris, which is interesting, to say the least. Oh, to go for the Draglubion OTK. Ah, I see. Yeah, just like OTK your opponent. I don't know if this is planning to go second. No, it definitely wants to go first, given the called by crossout. More Runick, Floodgates, yay, Unending Night. Unending Nightmare is actually crazy against Runick itself. That's a very smart deck. Oh my gosh, I might have to play that. Next up, we have ourselves Pend, Endymion, cool. More Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade. Yeah, Lyrilusc Tri-Brigade, I think, did the overall best for Tri-Brigade. So, there's that. We have more branded, this time branded Eldritch, 47 cards, not 60. 47 cards. I think with so much grass running around, it was advantageous to play more cards, just so that grass didn't, like, dump as many. We have 41 card branded with triple Albion, triple Fallen Volboss. This is a really weird list. What the heck? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, they're not playing Mercurier, they're not playing Kit, they're not playing Lost, they're not playing like anything. They're not playing Dramaturg. Very, very interesting. Yeah, more Adagnister. Interesting. More Runick with Cyber Valley. I have seen this. I have seen the Cyber Valley with like Monster Gate. Oh, they're just playing Monster Gate. They're not even. Oh, they are playing Reasonings up here. Yeah. So you just like make sure that you can just negate the battle phase basically and prevent yourself from taking additional damage, because the battle phase is probably the most difficult thing to deal with in for Runick. Like if you can get past the battle phase, you're basically golden, right? So, and then Amano Iwato, not surprising, and there's more Lyrilusc, Tri-Brigade, and Runick. So yeah, for the top 100, it's like the top was the most surprising. You know, Adamancipator, Flunder being those top decks, I think was the most surprising. But obviously, like every time, the top 10 is going to be populated with just like whoever happens to try the hardest. It doesn't really matter what they're playing. It's just like whoever ends up deciding to not have a life that week. Which this time it was an Adamancipator player. Am I surprised? Not really. Adamancipator has been a deck that I have been championing. That is a hard word. Championing for a while now, being like, yeah, this deck's still really good. It still has Block Dragon. The slight nerfs haven't really done anything. The meta hasn't changed. I think people just stopped playing it because they didn't want to play it. And yeah, I was kind of right. I even like undersold this, was like, it's like a tier 1.5 or something like that. I think I said like it takes too long to win. Turns out if your opponent just surrenders, yeah, you can still win. Also, just being able to get like guaranteed wins is still very nice. So there's that. Other than that, I think the lower we went, the more it seemed like I was pretty much correct. Lots of Runick, lots of Branded, bunch of Sword Soul, bunch of Tri-Brigade. Am I surprised? Not really. And then, of course, there's like the pet decks and stuff like that, like Marincess and Adagnister and stuff like that just, you know, get the tops because unaffected boss monster go bird. But yeah, all in all, I think that this Duelist Cup was interesting. I found it a lot better than the previous one, and it was still terrible, which isn't really saying anything because the format itself is just absolutely atrocious. But yeah, all in all, this one was better than the previous one. At the very least, we didn't get Xbox Land winning. So yeah, pretty cool. And all things considered, it was a terrible event. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy it. If you did, I like this very much, so appreciate it. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.